How's it going, YouTube? In today's video we're going to be talking about the Camp Chef Woodwind. This is the SG edition. This is Camp Chef's latest pellet grill and their line of grills that they offer here. This is very similar to the basic Woodwind that they still offer, but obviously it has some upgrades that make it kind of stand out over the rest. So this video isn't so much a comparative video, but obviously I'm going to show you some of the differences between the two, and also I'm going to go ahead and tell you some of my likes, my dislikes, and maybe some upgrades or updates that Camp Chef could do on the next iteration of this particular model. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, one of the main differences that I noticed right away when I was pulling this out of the box is this new high temp finish that Camp Chef is going with. This is more of a flat black versus the shinier, glossier type of finish, and I'm a really big fan of this finish because it's easier to work with. If you get deep scratches or you get grease buildup on here, it's easily repairable here because you tend to get a lot of grease right on here, and on the old finish it used to just stain it. No matter how much you cleaned it, you could just never get it all off. With this one you can easily sand it and go ahead and just throw a quick spray of some new paint right on it. And another thing is this is going to hold up over with higher temperatures than the old finish here. With this being a grill edition, if you don't really keep up with it and get all the grease buildup, you could potentially have a fire or some sort of flare up in there, and with that your temperatures are going to rise. With the old finish you could potentially damage it and flake it off. With this one here, it should hold up a lot better, but if it does get damaged you can easily sand it and repair it. So that's why I'm a big fan of this type of finish. One disadvantage with this particular finish, though, as you can see here, is all the smudges and all the smears and all the grease marks show up really bad on this particular finish here. I know some people aren't going to like it. To me, I don't really mind it just because I know it's easily fixable. I rather have something easy to work with than something that I couldn't repair myself. So like I said, big fan of the new finish. So alright, another thing that I did notice as well is this particular model is a little bit taller than the previous model, and I went ahead and took a tape measure to it, and you're about 2.5 inches taller, and that's actually really beneficial when it comes to actually having these grates here, because you can stack up higher foods here with that extra 2.5 inches here. I'm not quite sure why people are saying online that it's 3 inches, but if you measure the old model to the new model with the tape measure, from the surface of the grate to the top of the barrel on the previous model was about 9.5 inches. Here you got a 12 inches all the way through, so that's a difference of 2.5 inches, not 3 inches. I know some people are like, well, it's only a half inch difference, but that's actually kind of a big deal when it comes to cooking like bigger foods, like let's say a Thanksgiving turkey. When you have a 25-pound turkey and it fits in the other model, and you grab a 30-pound turkey and it doesn't fit just because it's off by a half inch. As you can see, that half inch does play a factor. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and grab the previous model just to show you how much taller it is. It's not a huge difference, but it is noticeable. So let me go ahead and put them side by side, and I'll get back with you. Alright guys, I went ahead and put this is just your basic Woodwind edition right next to the Woodwind SG, just to kind of give you guys a visual height difference between the two. As you can see, the top of the barrel extends, as you would imagine, 2.5 inches from there as well. So let me get you another view here, and I will go ahead and just slide it over. As you would imagine, the hopper also sits a lot higher, or 2.5 inches higher than the basic edition as well. So as far as the length, you know, going from left to right, they're both the exact same height. As far as it being from the ground all the way up, you're looking at the SG coming in at 44 inches tall. That's just to the barrel, that isn't to the smokestack here, versus 41.5 inches tall from the floor to the top of the barrel, not including the smokestack. So but I hope that gives you guys a better visualization versus just giving you some measurements here. So let me go ahead and get all set back up, and then we'll go ahead and continue this video. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this hopper. Camp Chef went ahead and upgraded this particular hopper here. Instead of the previous 18 pounds, this is now 22 pounds. And most people are probably wondering, well, why did they choose 22 pounds versus, let's say, 20? Because that's your average size of a bag of pellets here. I actually like the 22-pound hopper because not only does it give you more room to put pellets in, but it also allows you to put a full 20-pound bag of pellets in here without having to store a couple pounds like the previous model here. So when you get extremely low, you don't necessarily run your pellet grill all the way out, because you would have that same issue at 20-pound hopper. You'd have to wait for it to all run out and then put a fresh new bag of pellets in there so you didn't have any left over. With it being 22 pounds here, you can wait till you get pretty darn low and then go ahead and refill it, and you're not going to have any pellets to store as well, just because sometimes you don't store them properly. You put them on the floor and you went ahead and you go ahead and waste those pellets here as well. So as you would imagine, since it is a bigger hopper, it sits 2.5 inches longer, is taller than the previous one as well here. You're also going to notice you got a front window here. I really do like this, just because you, by quick glance, you can see how many pellets you have here. This isn't 100% accurate, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when you're using this, it doesn't, yes, it's kind of channeled in where it tries to draw the pellets and kind of put them in, but sometimes you get a well created here, like so. It's hard to see because I don't have enough pellets here and the lighting here, but you get a well here where it's not completely smooth or flush. So yeah, it looks like I have, you know, that X amount of pellets, but once I start to level this off, you can see how much of it dropped here. I'm sorry for my bad camera work, but just to give you an idea of what I mean by that as well. So Camp Chef went ahead and updated this as well, and they updated it on some of the previous basic woodwinds, and I really like this because some people get confused on as far as what's grilling and what's smoking here, and you can see where it has a nice color indication where it says you're smoking, and then once you start getting into these higher temperatures, it shows that you're going to start grilling. I'm not going to get in too much detail with this controller because I went ahead and did that on my previous videos here, but they went ahead and added a couple probe ports as well here. So you got 2 versus 1 here. A nice little addition here is they put a nice heavy duty bottle opener here for when you want to crack open a cold one. I thought this was going to be cheap from the looks of it, but it's actually a pretty decent gauge metal that they put here, and it works pretty well. So I'm sorry I didn't have a bottle nearby, so let me go ahead and just grab one here. This is some vanilla cream, trying to keep it PG for this video. And then you're just going to go underneath here. You can see how it works pretty darn well without minimal effort. So all right, let's go ahead and talk about the main feature of this pellet grill, and that's the sliding grill technology that the Camp Chef refers this knob as. What this is differentiates it from the basic woodwind is you're able to grill a little bit better on this particular model here. And for the direct grill mode here, it says set temperature knob to high, and then, or set temp to high, and then pull the grill knob here. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna set it to high, and then you're just gonna stick it out. And what that happens is this heat deflector shield on the bottom slides out of the way. But before I show you that, I'm gonna show you this grease pan here. As you can see it, the way it's angled here, what it does is it has these little holes, and the flame is supposed to come straight through here. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. I thought this was a gimmick. I've used it in the past with another manufacturer who has something similar, and I just was not impressed with this slide and grill technology. Instead of bashing it right away, I'm the type of individual to see if I can come up with a solution to make it work a lot better. And what I did is I went ahead and picked up these cast iron grill grates that Camp Chef offers for this particular model here. This made the world of a difference here. Camp Chef has some videos out there where they're cooking fish, and you can see some pretty decent grill marks, but when I try to replicate it with everything else besides fish, I used burgers, I used steak, I used hot dogs, chicken, the grill marks were extremely faint, no matter how long I kept it on there and how high the temps were. I just was not impressed. But once I sat there, or once I purchased these grill grates, I mean, this made a world of a difference. Those sear marks were pronounced on everything that I cooked. I really strongly believe that they should have included these with this particular model, especially at this price point, because this is a must if you want to grill, because I just don't think that these porcelain enamel coated grill grates just do the job. But that's just my little tidbit there. But let me go ahead and show you how this actually works. So I'm going to go ahead and take everything out, and then I'll get back with you. Alright, as you can see, I went ahead and just took everything out here and just set it on the ground. But this, as you can see, there's a couple rods here, and this already comes pre-installed when you purchase the grill, so you don't have to connect anything like that here. So you can see when you pull the knob here, it just moves over to the side and exposes the fire pot here. So that's the main difference, or that's the SG feature on here. There's subtle differences within the unit itself here. It's still the same stainless steel fire pot. You're still getting the ash clean out here. You're actually getting a full shelf here with two different height levels here, so you can just easily go ahead and pull it up and then just make one complete shelf if you wanted to here. So, but let me go ahead and address this ash clean out here real quick. A lot of people seem to get confused on this here, what this exactly does. What the ash clean out does is it cleans the ash in the fire pot, obviously, but what people don't realize, you're still going to get ash all over the barrel here. What this feature does here is extends the life of the hot rod, and also helps with lighting the grill and temperatures, because if you're not vacuuming it out with other models that doesn't have this feature, you're going to get temp swings and you're going to have a hard time lighting your grill if you start to see this build up. I purposely left all this ash on here, but this is, I'm 3 cooks into this, and you can see it's not a ton of ash, but if I keep leaving it on here, I'm going to have some issues with this grill. And another problem some people have is it does stick occasionally if you're not using it every day. So if you forget to use it or pull it, sometimes it sticks. So what you want to do, if it does stick, instead of fighting it, just give it a good tap. Really, it's hard to do it on camera, but give it a good tap that way, and it should just break free here. So as you can see, when I pull it, all my ash goes and cleans out here. But after so many cooks, you are going to have to vacuum it. So I think that's what's getting people confused, is they think this is something else when it isn't. So just went ahead and wanted to address that here. So, but let me go ahead and get everything back in, and we'll go ahead and move forward. All right, I went ahead and put everything back. So let's go ahead and talk about one final change. Or there's a few minor changes that they did that I didn't speak about that aren't really too important. But this is something that I'm pretty excited about, that I saved the best for last here. This is a redesign of the actual handle here. You're probably thinking it's just a handle and it looks nice, it's an upgrade, but this is what I would consider my cord management system. This is my biggest complaint with almost every pellet grill on the market in this price point, is there is no cord management system here. With the way this handle is redesigned here, and what Camp Chef did to this cord as well, as you can see they put a little groove or channel, I don't know what exactly it's called. I now have my cord management system. I don't know if they meant to do this because it's not advertised as it. But even if they didn't, this is what I'm going to call it here. So all you do is you grab your cord and you just go ahead and just wrap it around here, as you can see, like so. And then you're just going to just clip it on, like so. Now you have your cord that's out of the way. Prior to this, I used to just go ahead and just put it on top of the hopper, but this was actually causing some damage and causing some indents in my cord, and I stopped doing that. But with this new system, I now have a cord management system, which is nice. So, but I think I pretty much covered all the upgrades or the differences here on this actual unit here. You can see I have a front folding shelf here. This isn't standard on the unit, so this is an additional cost, but I think it's a must because, yeah, you have an oversized lid here, which makes it a nice shelf, but sometimes you want to be able to have your food or something right here on the front here. But if you have an older Woodwind, you're not going to have these 2 screws here for this to be a plug and play. But what Camp Chef did is they went ahead and gave you a template here. As you can see, it looks like the barrel here, so you're just going to line it up on the barrel and drill some holes like so, something like that, and drill some holes for this in order for this front shelf to work. But I think it's worth the hassle for this front shelf, just because of how useful it is and how much I've gotten out of it as well. So, but let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and look at my notes, and we're going to go ahead and talk about some of my dislikes on this particular product and maybe some improvements for the future. Alright guys, let's go ahead and talk about something I really didn't like about this particular model here that I didn't think was really well thought out here. As you can see, you have these side shelf brackets here. These are awesome here, but the execution of how they're mounted is not, and it interferes with the actual sear box here. As you can see, the sear box, no matter how much you level it, this lid is making contacts with these screws here, so I'm rubbing every single time I open this lid here. So I don't know if you can hear that, but I've actually caused some damage, and I haven't even used this sear box on this particular model here, but you can see the gnarly scratch that's causing on this thing, and it's only going to get worse. It's an easy fix. What Camp Chef could have done is they could have actually remove these panhead screws and put some flat screws in here, and that's probably what I'll do. But another easier solution that they should have done is they should have put some spacers or a washer in between the actual grill, the sear box, and the body here, so it moves the sear box a little bit away from the body so you don't make contact, because like I said, no matter how much you level this, you're gonna scratch it every single time. So that's just one of my major complaints here. Another complaint that I have is the jerky racks. With this extra height, the jerky racks are a must, just because you want to utilize all this space here. Well, the problem with these jerky racks is I called Camp Chef to verify if they fit this pellet grill, and they told me yes. Well, what they didn't tell me is I had to remove these brackets in order for the jerky shelves to fit, because the bracket that comes with it isn't long enough, and this hits here, so I'm not able to sit flush against this wall, so they don't fit. In order for them to fit, these brackets have to be removed. That's more of a hassle to me, to be honest with you, taking these off and on just to use the jerky racks. They should have told me before I purchased it, because I felt like I wasted my money. I'm probably going to use them occasionally, but not as much as I would like. Granted, I could probably take these off and just keep the rack system for the jerky rack in here, but I just don't want to do that. I like to keep it factory. But that's just kind of upsetting that they didn't mention that here. So if you do have jerky racks, just be aware these side shelf holders are going to have to be removed. Alright, let's move on to the final part of my video, and that's some potential upgrades or accessories that Camp Chef could offer or incorporate in this grill to make it even that much better. First thing is custom drip pan liners here, because I know a lot of people foil these liners, but it makes it really difficult to foil it the way this is designed here. You're gonna have to foil it, then you're gonna have to actually cut slits in it so you can use the grill feature of this pellet grill here. Custom liners would solve that problem here, and it would also bring in a source of revenue for Camp Chef as well. So it's kind of a win-win for both sides of it. Another option would be, as you can see, this is an oversized lid here to act as a shelf. Well, you got all this space underneath that's not being utilized. They should either incorporate or sell some sort of accessory or box that either clips or hangs on the side here, so you're able to store your meat probes. Just because if they're not near the grill, inside or in my hopper, I tend to lose them. And when I lose them, it's kind of upsetting when I need them. So having some sort of storage for these actual probes, it would be nice. I'd like to see them update or upgrade these probes, or give us an option to purchase, you know, some waterproof or weatherproof probes, just because, you know, you get a little moisture in here and these probes are ruined. And maybe sell some sort of clip, or offer a clip to use this as a pit probe as well, not just a meat probe, so you can monitor the temps. Because you can see the way this is designed, this is reading at the top here. Usually when I'm cooking, I like to get a good reading of the actual grate surface here on what the temperature is, and if I have a pit probe and I can just clip it here, it gives me a better idea, so I can mess with the temps here. Another thing that I think is kind of important here that they really need to address is this actual grill knob here. Yes, it's common sense that this rod is going to get hot because it sits in the grill, but common sense isn't so common sometimes. And with people who aren't familiar with this grill, when you're in the direct grilling mode here, this rod gets extremely hot, so they need to paint it red or do something to show that, hey, don't touch it. On top of that, they need to create some sort of heat sink between here and here, because when I'm grilling, this knob, believe it or not, gets about 180 to 190 degrees. So you're not going to want to touch it if you're grilling. You want to put some gloves or grab a towel or something just to handle it here. What they could do is, what I might actually do is drill some holes or offer some slots to dissipate the heat so it doesn't get so hot, and make it a different color just to warn people. Granted, I understand it's metal and it's sitting in the grill and it's going to get hot, but not everybody knows that or realizes that. So this could be, you know, a danger to somebody, especially little kids walking around. My daughter, I try watching her, but sometimes she's pretty quick and gets away. Or my wife, if I tell her to move it or push it back in, I'd like to at least, you know, alert her if I forget to tell her it's hot. So other than that, I think I pretty much covered everything I wanted to in this video here. I'm really impressed with this particular Woodwind. I do like it, just besides the minor gripes on the sear box, and I think all the features are pretty awesome here. So with this SG feature, and added the cast iron grill grates that I think should be included, I mean, this is a truly all-in-one grill. Is it going to replace my gas grill? No. Will it for most people? Absolutely. But I have an amazing gas grill with my Fuego that gets up to 500 degrees in a matter of minutes, that I can just crank out some really quick cooks when I'm in a rush. With this, it takes a little bit longer to heat up, obviously, because you're heating up the whole chamber and the pellets and things like that. But this will replace most grills for most individuals here. I think it's moderately priced. I think, you know, they could update the actual pellet controller to maybe a Wi-Fi when they're asking, you know, $1,000 for this. I know some people are going to have a hard issue with this not being a PID controller. With me, the food tastes the exact same with my Yoder, which costs 3 times as much as my Camp Chef. To me, you know, plus or minus 15 degrees is spot on for me. So I don't necessarily need a PID controller, but maybe having some sort of Wi-Fi controller would be really nice, you know, so I can monitor my temps from my cell phone. So other than that, you know, it's a great overall grill, guys. As always, I'm going to go ahead and post links to all the products I featured in this video in the description box down below. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or something you want me to address, or have questions about what I said, just go ahead and leave them down below. All right, guys, thanks for watching.